Come on, Cameron, you can do it. Pave the way from the podcast. Yeah, we can do it. Has been 3 weeks. I'm probably damaging eardrums now.
Has it been 3 weeks?
It's been 3 weeks, I think, or 6.
Are you going to keep singing
Have we
the whole
done it
time?
in August? August 12th, I think, was the last one we did.
Are you going to sing the whole time?
Hell no.
Okay, good. No, I think it's been 2 weeks.
I'm in a singing mood because we just saw Hamilton.
That is true. There was the week...
I'll go right now and prove you. Prove
there
it
was the
to
week
you.
that I moved. This would have been the 3rd week if we weren't filming it right now. The week that I moved, and then the week that I had recruitment.
I'm laughing because I set a 15-minute timer because I cooked a pizza 2 nights ago, maybe. Let's go. It was... The last one was published on August 9th. It is August 29th, so 20 days ago, 3 weeks.
Fine.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
We are in a new location, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I moved back to my apartment because school. And my cat is dead, so there's no reason for me to stay at my house.
Christ. That was morbid.
I'm really sorry. It's true, though.
Maybe a little.
Although I miss my other cat.
True.
She's dying, though, so.
Jesus.
Yeah, talking about it makes Chris uncomfortable.
I don't know how to talk about death.
I know
if
you
we
don't.
want to get like really serious out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to say?
Speaking of death.
Oh yeah. Ed Asner passed away. It's really unfortunate. We found out right before we filmed. For those who don't know, Ed Asner was the voice of Carl Fredricksen in Up. He played Santa Claus in Elf, I want to say. And he was also...
He did?
He did. And I want to look and see what else he did. But he's a legend. He was 91 years old. He lived a great life. Pixar put out a tweet. They said, Ed was our real-life Carl Fredricksen, a veneer of grouch over an incredibly loving and kind human being. Russell, Doug, and all of us at Pixar will miss him terribly. Are you going to cry? It's sad. It's honestly sad.
I'm so sad.
Very, very sad. Sorry to start on such a morbid note, talking about death.
I hate everything.
But yeah, it's very sad to see him go. And now Betty White is trending, which is just like...
Stop.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, no, when Betty White dies, like, that's gonna... You know how we can only imagine how England will react when the Queen dies?
Yeah.
Like, they'll go into, like, a frenzy. It's gonna be a whole shit show. That's what'll happen to America when Betty White dies.
It's going to be insane. And it's going to be, like, just really sad, too.
I feel like it'll be almost like when Robin Williams died.
Oh, that was
Remember when that happened?
Heartbreaking.
That was a
It was just
time.
like a really, really terrible day at school, I remember. I was in 7th or 8th grade. 8th grade. I was in 8th grade. Yeah. We watched the scene from Dead Poets Society that day, though.
Why would they do that to you?
To honor him.
I would bawl like a baby.
It's sad, death.
Have you ever seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
No.
You should.
Maybe we should introduce a new segment where we watch one movie a week the other hasn't seen, and we talk about it on here.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Because me and Trevor were going to do this thing called Movie Club. We used to do something on certain vids live streams similar to that. So I'd love to do that. But when it comes to taking the world by storm and shocking people in a non-morbid way, we got the biggest trailer of all time this week in Spider-Man No Way Home. It dropped.
And somebody got his first video to get over 100,000 views.
That's true. You know what I just realized?
What?
It's going to be a pain in the ass for you when the camera shuts off to get up and turn it on. For those who watch,
yeah.
Every 12 minutes the camera shuts off.
Yeah.
We don't know what to do about it, but...
I do know what to do about it. I just have to figure out which memory card would work best for it. Again, if anybody here knows cameras really well, please DM me and help me figure out why it does that.
We'll figure it out.
I've read about it. It's something along the lines of like the SD card can't process at the speed that the camera's processing the video feed. So we just need a faster processing SD card, I think. I don't know. I have to look into it. I'll talk to people.
I have no idea. But Spider-Man No Way Home is going to be the main focus of this podcast.
This is so true.
Basically, I had been waiting.
There's a lot going on.
Well, I was going to say, we had been waiting months for this. The speculation was like, oh, it's dropping in June. It's dropping in July. It's dropping.
Every
The
week.
toys dropped. Oh, it's dropping every week. And then we found out it was pretty much official that it was going to drop on the what day did it drop?
The day of CinemaCon?
Yes. And
Whatever that
we
day
had been
was.
waiting all day. I was anxious.
It leaked like the
It
day
leaked.
before.
I didn't watch the leaked version.
Neither did I.
I heard it was just god-awful quality anyway.
Yeah, you couldn't even see anything.
But so we were ready all day. And then it was like, it's going to drop around. So I was ready at 9 a.m. It didn't drop at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.
Thank
And
God I was
then-
in class.
Yeah, thank God. And then later, it dropped at night, and Soups was on some live stream with 52K people.
Soups, we were in Soups's stream, and he literally had David Dobrik in his chat for like 20 minutes and didn't see him.
And then he freaked out when he realized it.
Yeah,
And then the
David
trailer
Dobrik
dropped.
was sending him gifts on TikTok Live the whole time, and he just like wasn't.
Insanity.
Soups, if you're watching this, which I know you're absolutely not, start paying attention to who gives you gifts, because next thing you know, you're gonna have like.
Ryan Reynolds in there or something.
Yeah, you're gonna have someone important, and well, not saying David Dobrik's not important, but you're gonna have someone important in there, and you're just gonna miss it.
Yeah.
So start paying attention.
Fair. But
She
we
said
were
it
ready
live.
all day. I was anxious. My hands were sweating. I went live on TikTok on TikTok and Instagram. You were
Chris was a nervous
You were
wreck.
back
I
and
had
forth all
stuff to
day.
do all day. I had class. I had bid
Yeah.
day for my sorority. I was a busy bee.
yeah. And so when the trailer dropped, I was like, it's out, it's out, it's out, it's out. We were on Collins live.
Yeah,
And then
I
we
was
all
live
just
with
dipped. I
Colin.
think he ended it too.
We ended our live so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
And I was like shaking as I hit play on it and like started recording the video, and then we reacted, posted it, and literally in the first hour it had like 60,000 views. It was going so fast on YouTube Studio, it wasn't updating on the regular app.
It was crazy.
And it's now my most viewed video, and shout out anyone on here who watched it. You're all awesome. The support has been crazy, and I'm now close to 4K subscribers, which is just nuts.
And then I posted our reaction on TikTok, and that got like
2
I think
million.
it's at like 2.5 million views right now.
Insane.
So you got the views for your platform. I got the views for my platform.
It was wild.
It was a great time.
But the trailer itself,
Trailer itself was really good.
I did a breakdown video. Check it out.
Especially,
We're going to do a prolonged breakdown of it right now, literally from beginning to end. Let's just
especially
go for
because it's just a teaser trailer. I
Yeah.
realized that the other day. It's not even like the official trailer. It's just the teaser
it.
trailer.
Teaser trailer. Nuts.
And they only showed Doc Ock. Are you shocked that they didn't show Electro? I personally am, because Electro was the first villain that got confirmed.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, we're definitely gonna see him.
Well, I thought there were going to be images. Well, because I saw some images circulating online of the actual cast.
Yeah.
I don't know if, I'm sure you guys have probably seen them on TikTok or Twitter. It's technically a leak. But
Guys, listen, I'm gonna be straight up with you. If you're watching this podcast, you're gonna get, if you're like avid, like, I don't want to see anything, I'm so sorry. Click off the podcast. Leave a like.
about No Way Home, if you don't want to know anything, yeah.
Leave a like and then click off the podcast, because we're gonna talk very candidly. No more stuttering over worrying for spoilers.
Fine, here we go. Screw it. I mean, there's images on Twitter of
Mhm.
Defoe in costume and Electro in costume and Melina. We've now seen Melina. We've seen hints of both the other two, so they're going to be in the movie, and you guys know this if you see the trailer.
My
They're gonna
favorite
be in
thing
it, you
is
know?
when we were talking about it, the pictures.
Yeah.
You were like, oh, I don't know, because like Electro looks different than he does in the movie. I'm like, what do you mean?
You're talking about the pictures on Twitter?
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? Jamie Foxx looks like Jamie Foxx, and he was like, you were like, but like in TASM 2, he's blue. I was like, baby, that's CGI.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, yeah, he's blue after the visual effects. He's not blue beforehand. Because the pictures don't have like any CGI on them, because Doc Ock doesn't have his legs, you can tell.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Put
I
on
just thought
Do
that
Not
was funny.
Disturb. My phone was starting to blow up, but
he got like 2 text messages.
3 actually.
Oh,
Yeah, from the same
okay.
person, so pretty cool. But when it comes down to it, the trailer opens
This is true.
on a rooftop
This is true.
with Ned. Just kidding.
It
with
seems like
Peter and MJ
it seems like the movie's probably gonna pick up right after Far From Home ends.
immediately. I think it's gonna like open with the post-credit scene. Like I think it's gonna be like Rocky style.
Yeah.
Like in the sequels, they show the end of the last movie. I think it's literally gonna show the end, and then it's gonna show what happens right after.
I need Marvel to release just like a straight up timeline of everything. I really do. Like including post credit scenes, because I know WandaVision happens like 2 weeks after Endgame.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
And I know Falcon and Soldier happens like 6 months after Endgame.
Yeah.
We
Or
know
8 months.
Yeah, Far From Home is 8 months, and we know because that this is already a well-known fact about Shang-Chi. Like the director already confirmed this. Shang-Chi happens after Endgame. We don't know when or how long after Endgame, but it does happen after Endgame.
Yep.
And I think we need to know what like in the timeline when the WandaVision post-credit scene happens, because I'm sick of people making that stupid edit on TikTok where it's like the scene from WandaVision at the end, the scene from Loki where Sylvie splits open the multiverse, and then now they've added Doctor Strange into it from the trailer, and they're like, the multiverse splitting open all at once. I'm like, no, that's just simply not how it works. Far From Home, No Way Home is 8 months after WandaVision, but then it's like the question begs, well, when does the post-credit scene take place?
First of all, I need to clear the air with that real quick. The edit with Wanda is the stupidest shit I've ever seen, because there's no inclination she set off the multiverse just because she's practicing spells from the Darkhold
That
book.
is true.
How the hell does that have to do with the
There's
multiverse?
also no inclination that Strange set off the multiverse. The spell just went awry.
Awry, yeah, I like that word.
Thank you
That's
so
what we say down in South Georgia. It went awry. The thing is, that spell definitely does something because we see those versions of Doc Ock and stuff, so it has to tie into it. As far as I'm concerned, the real way the multiverse was set off was when Sylvie stabbed Kang.
Yeah.
And then we literally see a visual of a timeline getting all these different branches.
Yeah.
So where is Loki in the timeline? And I know people like you, and it's outside of time and space. Like, okay, that makes no damn sense. How does it affect? Because here's what the deal. We see Loki return to the TVA that's not the normal TVA. It's clearly a different reality. So does that line up with, like, how can that line up with the spell, you know?
We just simply do not know, babes.
It's so damn confusing.
It doesn't line up with the spell.
I know, it's
so
confusing.
People need to stop acting like they exist at the same time, because time at this point is irrelevant. It is. Loki.
The universe is getting too big.
The first few episodes of Loki, I was like, oh, sweet. They're like explaining the shit that happened in Endgame, and they're fixing plot holes with Endgame, and everything's great, fine, and dandy. Now, all of a sudden, it's like a shit show. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's just like hard.
It's getting confusing.
It's hard to wrap our heads around, oh, yeah, the Loki series happens outside of time and space, because we as human beings can't really process that, because that's not necessarily real to us.
Yeah, our brains can't handle it.
Yeah. It's a lot to deal with. But back to the trailer.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, I went off on a rant on people that keep editing.
Here's my rant, and then we'll go back to it real quick. It's gonna set off the space-time continuum. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, so we got the trailer. We've got Peter and MJ, and everyone knows who Peter is. Yada 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 yada. Matt Murdock? Question mark.
I don't give a damn. Let's be real here.
Is that his name?
Yes, that's his name.
Is it the character's name or the actor's name?
Charlie Cox is the actor. The character is Matt Murdock. Daredevil is his superhero.
See, you know why I get that confused? Because normally it's easy to tell which name is the comic book name.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers.
Bruce Banner.
Stephen Strange.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner.
Peter Parker.
Bucky Barnes.
A lot of the same first and last.
They do, yeah. Stanley does that a bunch. But you're gonna look me in the eyes and tell me that Charlie Cox doesn't sound like a Marvel name?
It does.
It really does. Like, if that was a character, I would believe it.
Yeah, but like, does anyone really care that it's him? Like, people, again, if you love Daredevil, I'm not taking a shot at you. It's on my watch list. I'm going to watch it before this, probably. But the thing is, like, to compare a shot of someone's arms landing on a desk to seeing a pumpkin bomb or even Doc Ock's leg or arm or tentacle or whatever you want to call it pales in comparison. The hype is way more real for the other villains, and like, yes, it will be cool to see like Matt Murdock Daredevil, but no one really cares.
The hype is only there for Daredevil fans. Like,
yes, it's almost like
I'm aware of who Matt Murdock is a little, you know. I'm aware of Daredevil. He's like a bloody anti-hero question mark. I know he's blind. But he also like is very graphic in his kills, from what I hear. And I know that his glasses make him look like one of the. I know that his glasses make him look like the three blind mice from Shrek.
Yeah,
that's all I can
I know
tell
that
you.
Ben Affleck played Daredevil in a movie, so that's sick.
And It's like cool. It's like, oh, cool. It's not, that's Matt Murdock. But I'm not going to say I don't care because I don't want to.
You know what?
By the way, you're not clipping this, what I'm saying right now. Because last time Chris clipped something of me talking about Spider-Man, when I said in the last podcast where I was like, are any of the Spider-Man movies good? Kind of talking about how they're all really campy. He clipped that on our TikTok. And it reached all of the misogynistic fanboys on TikTok.
It got traction for the unusual couple, though.
That's not the kind of traction we want, though. Like, I don't want misogynists watching our podcast.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't read the comments. I said something about like Captain Marvel, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's like."
I read the comments.
I just
3 people.
I don't care what people say about me. We're different, I guess. I'm leaving all this in, by the way.
Only 3 people said something about you.
I don't care like what people say.
Only 3
So I
people
guess
said
that's just
something
the
bad
difference.
about you on the Captain Marvel TikTok. You were over exaggerating. Every comment on the Spider-Man TikTok was mean.
No.
Yeah.
People were agreeing with you.
Not all of them.
No one's gonna agree with you all the time.
People were
It's
literally
either or.
putting
I don't give a
the
fuck what anyone
TikTok-
says about me.
I got a Snapchat of somebody who put the TikTok, like it was a Snapchat of someone recording someone else's phone. Someone put the TikTok on their Snapchat story, and they're like, "This girl is literally disgusting. Who the fuck does she think she is?"
Screw her. Literally.
I'm just saying, you have to be careful what you clip now.
Okay, then you can clip some, and then
No.
and then we'll talk. Then we'll talk.
Nar.
We'll see then.
But anyways,
If you're watching and you want to clip stuff for free, we can't pay you or anything.
we can't pay you.
That'd be appreciated.
But we'll give you a virtual high five. But no, yeah. So people, it's not even confirmed either. People think Matt Murdock's in the trailer. It could be his arms did seem very hairy, which I guess is a characteristic trait of Matt Murdock.
Yeah, and while we're on the topic of this, I wanted to clear the air on something for the people who heard what I said earlier. I've said this in podcasts before about the TV shows like Agent Carter and that Marvel doesn't give a damn about those. If they did, they wouldn't be, making Peggy the focus of a What If episode because they're trying to make her relevant again. They don't care about Agent Carter or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. I feel like they feel the same way about these Marvel Netflix shows that were a thing back in the day. Like, you don't see Feige talking about it that much. Now, it's interesting that they're going to go the route of bringing in Matt Murdock, but they kind of took a back burner. They got canceled like that, like real quick. So it's almost like they're kind of hiding them away, but maybe they're going to try and bring some characters back in. I want to say I'm going to give Daredevil and Punisher a chance. The other ones, not so much. I'm going to give the movies a chance. I'm not a hater. I'm just saying I feel like the excitement only stems from people who are massive fans of that show because everyone who saw the trailer was way more hyped for the villains. Anyway, though, back to what we were talking about. Cam has the trailer pulled up.
Yeah, pull the trailer up so we can remember it. Peter's just being like, life is so hard. I mean, it is. He is on trial for murder, so I'll give it to him.
His identity's revealed to the world. So
I'll give it to him. He's on trial for murder.
And you know what? I'm while we're here, we can kind of go off into our own branches of the multiverse in this conversation, right?
What?
Like, so the conversation we're having is a trailer breakdown, but we can branch off from it.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen so much on TikTok. It's honestly starting to piss me off.
Oh, what?
First, there's 2 debates, and I'm on both sides of the debate. So let me try and make this as clear as possible for the people listening, watching, and you. Try and follow me here.
Okay.
So many people say Tom Holland Spider-Man doesn't go through anything. He does go through a lot of stuff, and they try and say he's not nerdy. He doesn't have like monetary issues. When I've seen multiple videos and I've watched both of his movies, it disproves that.
Yeah.
First time we're introduced to him, he gets an old computer from the dumpster.
I've never seen the monetary issue complaint. I have seen the complaint of him not going through struggles, and that is not true. I did make a TikTok joking about that, but I said in my caption, like, I don't think this is true. I know Tom Holland Spider-Man has been through a lot. However, has he been through as much as Tobey and Andrew?
No, he hasn't, but he still goes through shit. And then
I had someone fight me in the comments saying that Peter getting snapped away was more traumatizing than Andrew and Gwen's death.
That's incorrect.
Your literal the love of your life dead in your arms versus you, to Peter Parker's mind, you were snapped away for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And you come back and nothing happened to you physically.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you get your wisdom teeth removed with
And
anesthesia. Like,
not to mention, he was lucky enough to have his aunt and his best friend and his girlfriend all get snapped away as well, so no one was 5 years older than him.
correct. Except Brad.
Who the hell is Brad?
You haven't
did
seen
Brad
Far
get
From
snapped?
Home. He didn't get snapped. Brad is the.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I forgot that was the whole thing.
I
forgot that was the whole thing.
But yeah, when it comes down to it, the other part.
He's been through stuff.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about.
He's also kind of stupid.
But the other thing I wanted to talk about, I'm not going to acknowledge that.
He is.
You think he's stupid?
I think he's smart, but he's stupid.
Yes.
Like he's a genius, but dumb.
Of course, it's dumb that he gave the glasses away, but he's also just went through the loss of Tony Stark, so he's a teenager who makes stupid decisions. I'm sure you've made some.
No, I'm perfect.
Mm-hmm. When it comes down to it, this is the most annoying thing I've ever seen on TikTok in my entire life. Ever. Here it is. Ready?
What is it?
It's a video of this dude saying, here's why Tom Holland is the weakest Spider-Man. And then it's a bunch
guy
of
with the long hair.
Yeah, it's something like that. I don't care. And then it's a bunch of people stitching it, talking about the amount of force and weight each Spider-Man has lifted, as if I give a damn.
But are you talking about that one TikTok where the guy like broke it down into like math and numbers with like Newton's force?
Yes.
First of all,
so stupid.
First of all, if you're going to get scientific about stuff like that, so they were trying to this one TikTok. It was like comparing the greatest feats of Spider-Man. So for Toby's, it was him holding the train. For Andrew, it was him.
The car over the bridge.
No, there was one where it was
over the bridge in that video.
Yeah, and then they also talked about him with the lightning, but then they're like lightning doesn't move as fast as you think it does, which is bullshit. And then for Tom, it was him holding the ferry together. This might not be the same TikTok you saw, but it's TikTok I saw.
I saw that one.
And while their video makes good points, they were doing like all this math and science crap, and I'm like, okay, well, you are forgetting, like, first of all, if you're gonna do the math of it, you have to factor in everything. You're just factoring in like, oh, what the average ferry weighs, and then you're like, so Tom Holland is holding together blah 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 Newton force. No, that's not inherently true. You have to factor in the webs and how strong the webs are and how much force the webs takes off of him, especially because the webs were attached to the strongest points of the ferry. That's literally a thing that his suit does. Correct? In the movie? Yeah. That's a thing. And that's a thing that you literally cannot measure because we don't have the science behind how strong his webs are. Same thing with Toby, same thing with Andrew. So I got what they were trying to do, but I'm like, this is stupid because you're trying to use math for something that's so fictional that you physically can't use math on this because you don't have all of the numbers.
It's also like I didn't realize that they were in the fucking world's strongest man competition over here. Like,
yeah, this is
who cares about that? And it'd be like if in Star Wars, if you were trying to compare who can force push stronger to make them the strongest, like it doesn't matter. It's all about the way they're written and their interactions with other people and like their arcs and shit like that. So I never watched the guy's original video, but was he talking about Tom Holland's physical strength or his strength as a character from a writing perspective? Because I don't know why he would be making a video about the man's physical strength. Well, it's clear that he can lift himself out of issues. And remember when he has the whole building dropped on him? Like, come on. I
don't understand where. I know that there's always been comparison of the Spider-Man. Like, that's always been a thing. Like, oh, which one's your favorite? Which one do you think's better? Which one had better movies? Like, there's always been that comparison. But until recently, I've never seen the comparison of which one's physically stronger. That's never been a thing that I've ever seen.
It's childish, if you
because it doesn't make sense. They're all the same person in a different universe. So wouldn't they all have the same strength?
Pretty much, yeah. And why does it matter? Like, they're not going to be able to put a lifting competition in the movie. Like, if it was written into an Andrew Garfield movie, they stopped like the plane wing or something, like because that was something that came up in Homecoming. Then people would throw that in. It's just like what they put in the movie is what's in the movie. Why does it matter how much they can lift? I don't get why this is even an argument.
It's also like a hard thing to argue because Tom Holland has the advantage of being in the MCU, and the MCU is just on a bigger scale versus Tobey Maguire. His movies came out in 2002, 2006, whenever the third one came out. I don't know.
04 and 07.
Thank you so much. His movies came out in the 2000s. So what are they going to do with CGI? You think they can make it so Tobey Maguire CGI stops a helicopter plane?
I mean, but like even if they could do that, who gives a shit?
What I'm saying is that like people, whether it's people that are for Tom Holland or against Tom Holland, like whatever, people forget to acknowledge the fact that being in the MCU puts you on a greater scale of things. So like the people that argue like, oh, all he does is use Stark tech. Yeah, no shit. If you're getting blasted into space, you're gonna have to use Stark tech so you don't die. You're literally outside of Earth. Yeah.
I will say the Iron Boy Jr. argument is infuriating to me.
If someone ever does use Iron Boy Jr., then you know that they don't have any argument. Because I can argue why Andrew's better than Tom without necessarily attacking Tom.
What is so bad about Iron Boy Jr.? They wanted to go a different route because we had seen the Uncle Ben story twice in the past decade. And let me finish. And Iron Man is literally like a father figure to him, and it works in the way they do it in the MCU. It works.
That's not what people. That's not what people mean when they say Iron Boy Jr.
What do they mean then?
They mean like he's not Spider-Man enough.
Really?
He's just. I don't agree with this because I don't think he is Iron Boy Jr. People think that he just relies on Stark's tech. He only does like what Stark would do.
I guess you know what. You're right, because when he fights Vulture at the end of Homecoming, he's using a Stark suit.
No, everyone, I know, people make that argument back, don't worry.
Okay. No, I'm just saying it's funny how people, whoever your favorite Spider-Man is, and I like them all for different reasons, people will, they'll forget details that are made clear to you about why they're a good Spider-Man and throw them out the window. For example, for Holland, they always forget that he does actually go through tough shit and that he has issues.
Mm-hmm.
And with Garfield, people will say he's too cool for school, but they'll forget that he gets his ass beat.
Literally so stupid. Here's the thing that I've
TikTok.
noticed, just based off of TikTok, this is what I've noticed about Spider-Man fans. Tom Holland stans are always so defensive and also so ready to argue. Like just so ready to be like, no, Tom's better. Toby fans.
I think they're the most non-problematic, personally.
No,
Really?
Really? Toby fans are just rude. And if you don't like, if Toby's not your favorite, then they literally think you're stupid. The most unproblematic from where I stand, this is going to sound biased, I swear to God it's not,
okay,
are Andrew fans because we're literally just happy to be here. Every Andrew fan that I've ever seen like on TikTok, on the internet, they talk about why they like Andrew. They don't talk about why the other ones suck, if that makes sense. Versus like if a Tom Holland stan is about to talk about why they think Tom Holland is the greatest, they're going to shit talk Andrew on top of that. And they're going to shit talk Toby. I can go off on a 30-minute rant about why I think Andrew is the best, and I don't have to put down the other Spider-Man to do it.
Fair.
And we're just chilling.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're the most self-aware. We're like the most not in over our heads necessarily. And obviously there are the occasional Andrew fans that probably are really annoying and bothersome. But for me, and from what I see from Andrew fans, we're all like, yeah, we know his movies aren't the best, but they're fun. If you just watch TASM 2 and ignore Green Goblin, it's a great movie.
Yeah, the villains are all ass in that movie. Like, the movie isn't that good, but, like, he's good in it, so. It's not really his fault that his movies are not the best movies.
The movies aren't the best, but I get a feeling when I watch TASM that I don't get when I watch any other movie, so.
Yeah, but hey, I guess what this conversation showed us is that if all three of these Spider-Man are, in fact, in No Way Home, all of the hatred will go away and we can all unite.
Will it though?
And then they'll say, well, the weakest in the movie was Andrew, the weakest in the movie was Toby.
That is extremely optimistic of you to think that.
I'm sorry. I forgot that Tom's actually living both their lives in this movie.
Oh my God. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later.
All right. Going through the trailer. Charlie Boy's in the trailer. No, sorry. I'm just trying to, like, we're just watching it while it's going by. Blah, 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 blah. He goes to visit Doctor Strange.
Yeah, for those watching at home, I'm not going to put this in. You guys can look at the trailer.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to put it in the video.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just scrubbing through the trailer.
I'm going to put it in, that part in. I'm just not going to go edit in the trailer.
Gotcha.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So, Peter goes to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, bae. Love him. Great character. Very underrated.
What does his mug say? For Fox's sake?
Oh, for Fox's sake.
Yeah.
It's a picture of a fox, and it goes, oh, for Fox's sake. And he's wearing a Columbia sweatshirt. We love a Columbia man. The number one thing, not the number one thing, but one of the main arguments, I think, to come out of this trailer in the MCU fandom is Doctor Strange Doctor Strange? What do you think?
Yeah, I think he is for the most part.
Really? What do you mean for the most part?
I think there's two versions of Doctor Strange in this movie. I think that we're going to see like a variant of Strange at some point. But like,
really?
I don't know. He seems a little weird the way he just sets off the spell. I've heard when people say they think it could be Mephisto. Cool. I don't know. The thing is, like, I don't care. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
You know how I get about theorizing sometimes.
Yeah,
It's just like I'm gonna watch the movie and find out.
Here's my thing.
Like,
I think it is Doctor Strange. First of all, in the first scene we see where he's like in his sweatshirt and stuff, people think he's acting like so weird. And they're like Wong tells him not to do this spell, and then he does it, and people are like, "Oh, there's no way that's strange. Like he's not reckless like that." And I'm like, he literally is. He's one of like the most arrogant and pompous and irrational people in the MCU. He literally is only where he is today because of texting and driving recklessly and driving off of a cliff. Literally.
Yeah.
And then he was so like, this man traveled to like the back corner, middle of nowhere bumblefuck of the world for some made up religion. Well, it's not made up, but you know what I mean. For some religion that he didn't even know was real. I don't even know if it's a religion, whatever it is, some sort of practice, all the way to Carmitage when he didn't even know that it would work. On top of that, he's a neurosurgeon, the most cockiest of the surgeons, from what I can tell from my extensive Grey's Anatomy knowledge. All neurosurgeons are assholes. They just are. So, yeah, literally everything Doctor Strange has quite literally ever done is being reckless.
Yeah.
Unless it's Endgame or Infinity War, excuse me, where it was quite literally like the end of the world and he kind of had to be a little bit serious.
Even what he did in Doctor Strange to defeat Dormammu was
He
reckless.
defeated Dormammu by being annoying. And people think that him winking at
He wasn't
Peter...
supposed to use the time stone ever. Remember how
No.
Wong even said, like, you're not
he-
supposed to, and he did
Absolutely
anyway. So
not. He used it anyways, and he defeated Dormammu by being annoying. Literally, he stole the time stone halfway through his movie and practiced it on an apple or whatever, and he snuck his way into the forbidden section of the library. Like, everything he's done is stupid.
for himself, though, and I don't know why he would do something for Peter. I don't know.
Well, he knows Peter now.
Yeah, but, like, he would think he might just be like, not worth it.
I think it's
But
more...
again, we haven't seen the movie.
Well, to that point, though, I think it's less that it's for Peter. It's more that it's for the challenge of it. I use this example with you, but like surgeons, they do risky surgeries on the off chance that it works so that they can be published and their name will be known. Correct? That's like, well, whatever.
Is that a real thing, or is that just fictional?
No, it's a real thing.
Because Strange did that for sure. We know that. We've seen the phone call.
I mean, obviously
not good enough.
Obviously, they make sure that they can do it, but there are a lot of surgeries where it's like there's a high risk factor.
Yeah.
But the person wants to do the surgery anyway, so the neurosurgeon's like, let's go.
Yeah.
Because if I do this right, if I do something incredible, my name gets published, and that's a big deal for me because surgeons like that. And I think it's kind of the same idea with Doctor Strange. He's like, if I do this spell and if I do it correctly, like, I'm gonna be a big deal in whatever the Carmitage world, whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called.
New York?
No, the world of,
Carmitage?
especially because Wong told him not to do it. It's like, hey, don't touch that big shiny red button. Don't touch it, whatever you do. I know you probably don't get that because I feel like if someone tells you not to touch a red button, you won't touch it for the life of you
I mean...
because you follow rules, like the good boy you are.
No, it's just like, I'm not going to do something stupid.
Well, he didn't do it. It wasn't stupid to him because he thought he could do it. He didn't know Peter was going to fuck up the spell. And that's another thing. I've seen a lot of people be like, why would Doctor Strange purposely set off the multiverse? I'm like, I'm sorry, did we watch the same trailer? He didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. He's
Yeah.
literally saying to Peter, like, shut up. Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing a spell. Stop. And then Peter doesn't stop. And the spell gets messed up. If Peter would have shut up, the spell probably wouldn't have gone fine.
Then we wouldn't have a movie. So there you go.
True. And then another thing is that people are like, oh, why are him and Doctor Strange fighting when they're falling through the sky or whatever?
The one that gets me. So we see clearly Electro, Sandman, likely Green Goblin.
Yellow Electro.
Yep. Doc Ock. The assumption is Lizard, and I don't know why we're all so on board with it. I am, but like I don't get why. And how do we know it's not Venom?
I think it's because it's just some big, like, dark black thing behind Peter. And I think in the world of comics, Lizard is an important villain to Peter.
Yeah. Definitely. It's Dr. Connors. He had a big
Yeah.
influence on him. Again, I don't think we saw Dr. Connors in the MCU, but it's all
No.
good.
But
It's going to be the different version
I'm
of
down
it
for
anyway.
it being Lizard. Who's the sixth Sinister Six going to be? Because we've got Electro, Lizard, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, and Sandman.
Which I'm the most excited to see Sandman besides Goblin and Ock, obviously. I think
He said, fuck the TASM villains. Continue.
if they show that Green Goblin ever again, I will walk out the fucking theater.
Such disrespect to Lizard, but okay. And Electro. Electro's a good villain.
Okay, cool.
See?
Do you know what he is? Do you want to know what he is? Have you seen The Incredibles?
Yeah.
Syndrome. Have you seen Iron Man 3?
He's Syndrome, but better.
Have you seen Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
Aldrich Killian. Anyway, and there's a lot of other examples too.
See my perfect example. Who's your favorite Spider-Man?
I think
Tom or Toby?
it's been Andrew lately, actually. And you act shocked.
Who is
about
it normally? Who is it normally?
For a while, it was Tom.
I rest my case. Good
And I'm
name.
glad that I said stuff about. I'm sorry for just bashing Andrew Garfield, right? I wasn't talking about his villains or anything.
You were talking about his villains. His villains aren't.
I know. It was a joke. I was
Electro's not a
saying
bad
you made a
villain.
point earlier, and you said, "Fan of the other two will bash Andrew," and I did.
And
bash
his
Andrew.
movies. That was implied.
Okay, yeah, his villains are trash.
Not all of them.
In my opinion, they are,
Okay.
and I think the best villains are Tom.
Fair.
Ah,
At least he's only
you
had
know
two.
what?
It's hard.
Actually, no. Toby has the best.
It's
villains.
easy to say Tom has the best villains because he's only had two. When you say Toby has the best villains, you're also including Venom in there. You know what I mean?
Toby has the best though. He has 3 really good ones.
This is true.
Anyway, though, what the hell were we even talking about?
Who do you think the sixth Sinister Six is?
I want it to be Mysterio
Really?
because I think it would be cool to see him. But people are like Rhino. I'm like, fuck.
That wouldn't. I don't know. That wouldn't. Not for me.
I don't know.
I crush you. I kill you.
Yeah, it'd be cool, I guess. But I want Mysterio. But if they're saving Mysterio, do you think he's alive or dead?
Alive?
He's alive.
He's got to be.
Gyllenhaal's coming back in this movie.
Maybe. What if the big black thing behind Peter is Scorpion, and Vulture comes back because they were both in jail together?
Who knows? Again, no
I
idea.
feel like people are forgetting about that post-credit scene.
They are. Definitely they are.
And I'm pretty sure it got confirmed that Vulture didn't snap away, so he did finish his sentence.
I mean, he's literally in Morbius, the trailer for that movie, which is a Sony product. He's in it, and in the
Oh, yeah.
background, no one's talking about this. In the background of that,
Iron-
there's graffiti of Raimi's Spider-Man of Tobey, and it says murderer. So I don't know why the hell. Yeah, you can look it up. I don't know why.
Murder, like as in
Murder.
murdered Mysterio.
No idea.
Maybe they are living each other's lives.
Who knows? But again, who do you think it is?
The sixth.
I'm going Mysterio. Sorry for your ears.
Probably sounded cool. Don't worry about it. Probably Mysterio.
hmm
I can't imagine who else it would be.
Yeah, Vulture maybe, who knows? But
Maybe.
moving on in the trailer, and they like go out of New York. They're in like the desert on a train.
Yeah, that's weird.
It
They're in,
looks
like the Grand
trippy for
Canyon.
sure. And then we get the scene everyone's talking about, which is like the bridge scene.
Yeah.
And if you really break down the orientation of shots, there's some Marvel trailer trickeration at work.
Wait, I broke it down. Let me grab my notepad.
Sure. While she does that, I'll say, if you want my succinct breakdown of the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, the Film Stock YouTube channel has a video for it. And also, if you want to see my review of He's All That, I did it right that time. I always want to say He's the Man,
He's the man.
which probably will happen one day.
Interesting.
But yeah,
Okay.
Film Stocked.
So here's the order that we see it in the trailer. We get the shot of Peter turning around in his Iron Spider suit and the legs are opening up. Then we have the shot of the pumpkin ball rolling. And then we have the shot of the ball exploding. And then we have the shot of Doc Ock's arm coming up and smashing things. And then we have Peter suiting up on the car. That's the order in which we see it in the trailer.
Mhm.
But if you look at it shot by shot, there's like a construction sign, there's construction cones, there's the road signs. If you look at like the orientation of where things are and how damaged the background is in the behind of the shots, here's the order in which they actually happen in the movie. Probably. Peter senses something, the shot where he's talking to that lady in the car and he senses something. He then suits up on the car. He does that first. Duh. And then Doc Ock comes out of wherever They fight. Something happens to Doc Ock ? Because there's one shot where like the left side of the road is like there's like a big gap that leads into water. I don't know. So something happens to Doc Ock maybe. Then the pumpkin ball comes
Pumpkin
in.
bomb, Cam.
So sorry, pumpkin bomb.
Gosh.
So sorry.
Fake fans.
Comes in, and then that's when it explodes, and then that's when Peter turns around and his legs open up. I love saying it like that. So that's the order of how things happen in real life. To my assumption.
So
we'll come back and visit this after the movie comes out.
Do you think Tom, Toby, and Andrew are in that one shot where
I think that's the first fight scene of the movie.
I don't know why people are so quick to assume. It's so clear edited out because it's a wide shot.
Yeah, the shots confuse people, but people also forget that shots change from trailer to movie so much.
Look at Infinity War. There's a whole ass shot of them running, and that's not even in the movie.
There could be somebody edited out, but it doesn't have to be Spider-Man. It could be Doctor Strange.
Yeah, who knows? I'm so excited for this movie, though.
Me too.
I think Happy's gonna die.
Same. What do you think about everyone? Everyone's freaking out about how Tom's wearing the same suit as Toby.
Yeah, I made a joke about it earlier. It's just like, no.
It's like the most generic gray suit you could ever find, and there's only really one color shirt that goes with gray, and that's blue. That's literally your only option.
Yeah, and you made this point too. Like, if they are just the same person, wouldn't they have similar fashion tastes? Like
that. Yeah.
So what? It's simple. That's it. Why do people feel like Tom is living their lives? That makes no sense to me.
Saw a video that someone was like, Tom Holland's face is deep faked onto Tobey Maguire's body in that scene of the trailer.
No.
And people actually think that's going to be Tobey Maguire. I'm like, oh, really?
No.
Tobey Maguire has the Iron Spider suit? That's dope.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Proud of him for that one.
It's just like, yeah, one of them was about the pose that he strikes.
Yeah, they're like, that's the exact same pose.
Yeah. So dumb.
That Toby is. I'm like, okay. But for Tom, he's looking more like a Spider-Man. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's really nuts.
Final thoughts. I think Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange. Toby and Andrew will be in this movie. When? I don't know.
They'll be in it.
I wouldn't be shocked if they are in that shot on the bridge, but I think that shot on the bridge is like early on in the movie.
First hour.
Yeah.
Everything we saw in the trailer is like pretty early. They're not going to reveal everything.
Yeah. What if the villains show up before he even goes to Doctor Strange?
That'd be nuts. It would make no sense, but it'd be nuts.
They still have a possibility to get
I
there,
think
though.
he's talking to Toby. Hello, Peter. When Doc Ock says that, I don't think he's talking to Tom.
I think he is. Everyone knows. Everyone is like, he's got to be talking to Toby because how would he even know that Tom is Peter or that Spider-Man's Peter? That's literally the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, but he's probably from a different universe.
I know. But you don't think that he would catch on quickly?
No.
I think he would.
Who knows?
He probably catches on quickly.
Huh.
Here's my thing, though. I know they're being played by the same actors, so we're all like, oh, these villains came from Toby and Andrew's universe.
Mm-hmm.
What if they didn't?
They could.
Because
It could be from different ones.
J. Jonah Jameson
Yeah.
is being played by J.K. Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
And he's played by J.K. Simmons in the Toby universe, but it's a separate character.
Yeah.
It's just the J. Jonah Jameson of the MCU. Who's to say that it's not the same way with Doc Ock and Electro and Green Goblin? And we're going to find all these villains, and Peter's going to be overwhelmed, so Doctor Strange is going to be like, I know where we can get help. I know people that have fought these villains before. Not these villains in our universe, but in their own universe. And then they go, and they grab them, and then they come back to Tom's universe and fight.
Yeah, it would be cool, but it wouldn't make any sense because why would the villains have something against Peter Parker if they, like, the big thing about, like, Green Goblin...
We don't know.
I'm just saying, like, and even Doc Ock is the relationship with Peter, so why would they just be existing in the world of the MCU and never have interacted with Peter Parker when that's a massive part of their character? It wouldn't make sense.
It
That's
could
why
just,
I'm saying.
I don't know, something could have happened when the multiverse got split open and their brains just don't work.
I just think they're going to be from not the MCU timeline, any other timeline.
Interesting.
But
I'm just excited to see.
again, this is 100% confirms that Toby and Andrew are in the movie. I don't care what anyone says. I'll argue. I'll put $1 million on it right now.
I'm just kidding. I also think they're in the movie.
It's like, why wouldn't they be? If you're still arguing they're not in the movie, why? Like, comment down below in the comments.
I think at this point, it's just a question of how much are they going to be in the movie. Like, is it a
Not
cameo?
long, 20
or
minutes.
is it...
Not like a cameo is like a minute. That way more than a minute.
What if they get stuck in the MCU? And that's touched on in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
I mean, that's, again, I would put even more money that Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness with Danny Elfman scoring, may I add, will 1,000,000% have Toby in it. He's not going to make an MCU movie with Toby not in it.
So true. Oh, that's another thing that I want to say about Doctor Strange. I forgot to mention this. People that are like, oh, Doctor Strange is acting really weird. He's acting really out of character. Doctor Strange is not acting out of character. He's just being written by a different person. Like, there's been examples of this in the MCU a lot where characters just feel a little bit inconsistent, and that's because they're being written by different people. Like, a lot of people say that Spider-Man in Civil War is very different from Spider-Man in Homecoming. That's because it's written by somebody else, directed by somebody else. This is the first time John Watts has handled a Doctor Strange.
Fair.
Also, Doctor Strange could literally be like mentally losing it after the events of Endgame. He's probably like ill.
Yeah, characters change over time. People change over time, so
Yeah.
it's not like that big of a deal.
Yeah. Also, just like if you were to watch Thor and then watch Thor Ragnarok,
Without anything in between.
yeah, imagine thinking those are the same character.
Exactly. It's crazy. So
Marvel gets inconsistent.
different directors and writers change things. For
Yeah,
sure.
of course. They just amp up his funniness because Spider-Man movies are campy, so they're upping Doctor Strange's funniness.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
Yeah. Speaking of Doctor Strange, I think the upcoming episode of What If is going to focus on him, and I want to talk about What If real quick.
Yeah.
Like, is What If dead?
It's not dead. It's just very similar to Bad Batch, where it's like, that's the point.
Okay.
For me, I don't really ever see myself staying up until 3 a.m. for a What If episode.
I've done it every time.
I know you have. I also don't necessarily care that much about getting spoiled for What If. Like, it took me over a week to watch the second episode of What If. And it took me like a day to watch the third episode of What If because A, was busy, and B, it's not the first thing I think of to watch.
Mhm.
And I didn't care about any spoilers I saw because it's like, why do I care? It's not in the main timeline.
Yeah.
I literally don't care.
It's an entertaining little show, but again, it's just something fun for MCU fans.
Yeah.
It's so far, it's kind of just been a fan service thing, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's also not necessarily worth the week to week, I don't think.
Hell no.
They could do 2 at a time.
They could have dropped it all at once.
Yeah.
I don't know why certain platforms like Disney Plus think they have to drop it weekly. Like
To keep
Monsters at Work
subscriptions.
should have dropped all at once.
To keep subscriptions.
I know, but like, I don't know why Netflix can get away with doing Outer Banks all at once and they keep
Because
it all.
Netflix is superior.
Is it the brand? It's just because it's been around longer.
Yeah, Netflix, yeah,
I guess so.
has like its solid standing.
yeah.
Like, people can't cancel Netflix because Stranger Things 4 is coming out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then
Yeah.
can't cancel it again because U3 is coming out, and then Outer Banks season 3.
Ozark, a bunch of shows. Yeah. But I still will continue to watch What If, but it's not my favorite of the shows. It's
Yeah.
not the worst though. It's better than WandaVision.
Hawkeye is coming soon.
Yeah, we should
We
get a
should
trailer
get a
soon in a
trailer
few weeks,
soon.
hopefully.
The minute that I hear Haley Steinfeld speak, I'm gonna cry. I'll pee. I'm gonna cry and shit and vomit in happiness.
Wow. You've said that a lot lately. Where'd you get that from?
You told me I need to stop saying I'm gonna kill myself, so I'm coming up with another option.
So shitting your pants or excreting all over yourself is
To
the way to
express,
go.
I'm a very
very dramatic person.
what's the word? Hyperbole.
Yeah.
I'm a very hyperbole person.
The way I'm
Hyperbole.
looking at you right now in disgust. I'm so sorry for those watching the video version.
Why? What did I do?
You're a big freak.
Well, okay, I am extremely expressive. So when something happens that like stresses me out, like
Just say I'm gonna cry or something.
that's what I do.
I'm
But
gonna shit my
that's not
pants?
enough. That's not enough. For example, when we were moving into my apartment, I was extremely nervous about my monitor because I have this really big curved monitor, and I have PTSD from freshman year of college where my roommate was coming back from winter break and she brought her TV back home with her, and then she was bringing it back to college, and when she turned it on, completely cracked all throughout the inside. When you turn it off, you couldn't tell. There was not a single crack on that thing. Turn it on, black, colorful lines everywhere. It was a mess. And so I was traumatized from that. So, for an example, when we're moving into my apartment, I was like, Chris, I just want to let you know, if I turn my monitor on right now and it's broken, I'm going to kill myself. Just to express the stress that it gives me. But Chris told me I need to stop saying that. And he's right. I do. Because that's not a good thing to say. Not a good thing to joke about. It just became a habit. So now I'm going to start saying things like I'm going to cry and scream and throw up. Because just saying I'm going to cry isn't enough. That's not enough. I cry every day. I cried literally an hour ago.
Hear me out. Just don't say anything. Just let it resolve.
That's extremely unhealthy. I got to let my emotions out.
Okay.
I can. Which word would you rather me change? Cry and you don't
throw
want to
up alarms me.
So cry and shit and scream. Is that better?
Just say I'm gonna scream.
No, it's not enough to just say that. I have
You're
to
so dramatic.
express more.
Dramatic.
No, it's just expression.
Okay.
I have to properly express how I feel.
Okay.
For example, when long hair Bucky shows up in What If, I'm gonna cry and scream. And vomit.
So you're not going to like it because that's a negative connotation.
No, vomit out of excitement.
Okay. I didn't know that was a thing.
Like when you're so excited.
Yeah. Like before a big game, you puke your guts out or something.
Oh, wait, no, I didn't play sports.
Yeah, I know.
I danced. That is a sport.
So.
whoa. You don't think dance is a sport?
Is marching band a sport?
No, you're just walking. Do marching band people stand on their toes for like 2 hours at a time?
I don't even think
No.
golf's a sport, and I love golf. It's
Golf
fucking.
is a sport.
It's a leisurely activity.
Emma, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry he just
No.
said that.
No, listen.
Uh-uh.
No. See, here's the thing, and I'm getting upset and heated, and this is all staying in. People get so mad by the title sport. In
Yeah.
my opinion, a sport is honestly something like football, basketball,
gymnastics a
baseball,
sport?
lacrosse. Yes. It's in the fucking Olympics.
So dance is not a
Golf
sport.
is technically a sport, but what I meant by that is like golf and tennis are like activities. This is from Big Cat from Barstool. He said, golf is something people pick up when they
Great
retire.
sense.
Is it really a sport if you pick it up when you retire? No one
Okay,
picks
but
up basketball or
No one
football.
picks up ballet when you retire. Ballet is a thing you have to work at
It's
for
an
15
activity.
plus
What's
years.
so bad about that?
It is not an activity. Tell that to the amount of times that I cried and bled as a child. Not an activity.
Hell of
It's a
an
sport.
activity.
It's a sport.
Okay.
You're being very misogynistic right now. Say it's a sport.
Dance. You want me to say dance is a sport? So
Dance
when I took
is a
theater
sport.
dance, I was participating in a sport. So I was a 2-sport athlete in high school because I did theater dance and lacrosse.
No, I'm talking about the kind of dance that I do.
Okay. So you're a categorist.
No. You didn't do shit in theater dance. You really didn't.
I was
You were
dancing.
barely there.
I went every day.
You moved your feet begrudgingly.
Okay. I was not a bad dancer. And I will walk off the set right now if you say I was. I
No,
will.
You were a great little dancer.
Okay.
When you tried.
Okay.
Dance is a sport.
Could you blame me for not giving a shit about anything after I got accepted
No.
to Georgia?
But listen, if
Like-
you're going to sit here and tell me that gymnastics is a sport, so is dance. The stuff they do on the mat in the Olympics,
Okay, dance is a sport.
he doesn't even mean it.
By the way,
It's
golf
so
is a
hard.
sport, but it's just like I think we should reevaluate the structure of the word sport.
I think you should put on point shoes and let's see if you cry.
Okay.
You can't even point your foot without probably getting a cramp. Do it right now. Point your foot.
Do what?
Point your foot.
Cool. Now, but why is that how does like okay, then is cheerleading on the sideline a sport?
No.
Misogynist pig. Misogynist pig.
No, but competitive cheerleading is a sport.
Yeah, that's gymnastics.
If anybody watching this is a gymnast, they're gonna get mad at you for saying that.
Oh my gosh.
Competitive cheer and gymnastics are very two different things.
Okay.
They incorporate a lot of the same moves into it. If standing on the sidelines of a high school football game, if they do backflips, yeah, it's a sport. I know a lot of girls in our high school did competitive cheer on the side. It's not the same. And you know it's not the same. You used high school cheerleading as an example because you know that it's not a
If this
sport.
conversation will end, I will say dance is a sport because
Okay.
I clearly don't think it is, and I don't know why people get so fucking upset about
Because it is.
And I don't know why. Then marching band's a sport, Cam. You can't have it both ways. It's just because you have the dance bias. Marching band is not a sport. It's an
Okay.
activity.
To
They're
call
going to
dance an
perform at
activity is
halftime?
insulting.
They're performing at halftime of the sport.
Color guard is a sport. Marching band is not. You're standing there.
You're literally categorizing it right now.
No. Marching band is banned, and that is an activity. They're barely even moving. I'm so sorry if any of you guys are a marching band. Color guard is a sport. I'd give sideline cheerleading as a sport. Not a difficult one, but it's a sport. I think you just hate ballet for some reason.
I think
You've hated ballet ever since I dragged you to Cinderella.
No, I just think that it's like, why do you want it to be a sport
Because
so bad?
it's one of the hardest things ever. It really is.
Okay. You know what else is hard?
Oh, do tell.
Being an aerospace engineer. I don't think they go and call it a sport to build a fucking rocket
No,
ship.
of course
Like,
it's not a
what?
sport. That's the
That's
stupidest
this-
analogy you've ever used in your
They're
entire
physically
life.
or astronauts, athletes.
Like, there's an argument there. There
It's
could be.
just like, why can't they just be astronauts? And why can't athletes be athletes and dancers be dancers?
Because
Why?
athletes
You know what it is?
belittle dancers.
Let's get a hot take in here.
Oh, go for it.
Let's get a hot take in here. Did you play any sports in high school?
Not in high school, no.
So, thank you for answering the question. The
You
answer's
said
not
any
a sport.
other.
I said, did you play any sports?
I
Because
heard
we're
any
back on the
other.
replay. I won. It's done. Continue though.
I can make you cry right now, but I'm not gonna.
I don't care what you say about lacrosse, dude. Lacrosse is lame as fuck. I played it my whole life. It's so stupid. Everyone that plays it's kind of a. What did you want to say?
Pretty much that.
I know. I'm self-aware of that. You literally hold the stick and throw a ball. It's a wannabe hockey. I just flamed it. I'm aware of that.
You would literally, and no exaggeration here, you would cry and shit and pee and vomit if you ever took a ballet class.
That's just not true.
You would never be able to handle it.
That's
It's
not true.
physically difficult and mentally difficult, and you would
Okay.
break down 30 minutes in a class.
Yeah. I don't think you
I don't
should do
even think
marching band, so
Yes,
I,
I can. I just stand around and march.
I stand around and dance.
Mm-mm.
See?
Get up and do a plie right now. Do a grand plie
No.
in fifth position. You would cry.
Go
Would cry.
Go hold a sousaphone in 100-degree
Fuck
heat.
is a
Exactly.
sousaphone? That's not
shame.
real. Is it? It
Yes,
sounds like
it
something from
is.
a Dr. Seuss book.
That's what the tubas are. They can't carry tubas, so the tubas they were called a sousaphone, I believe. And it wraps around them. Weighs about 45, 50 pounds. Now you're out there standing for the majority of the game in 100-degree heat sometimes.
I
so
know you were so passionate about marching
No,
band.
I don't think it's a sport, but if you're going to argue dances, I'll argue marching band
It is. You're pathetic right now. You're being pathetic.
Oh my
Dance
God.
is so hard, and you are being rude. You're just being rude.
I'm not being rude at all.
Dance is a sport.
Okay.
What defines a sport to you, though? Like a competition has to be involved?
It's just
Like a match has to be involved? Like competition/match?
no.
Is
It's
competitive cheerleading a sport to you?
begrudgingly, probably.
Begrudgingly.
I guess it is. I don't know.
If you're watching the video version, comment down below if you think dance is a sport. And if you don't think it's a sport, I'm gonna block you from my YouTube channel. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. For real though, do comment if you think it's a sport. And comment if you think his marching band comparison is stupid, because I think it is.
Okay.
Peter Parker would say that dance is a sport. That's all I'm gonna say. You're disrespecting Gwen Stacy in my own house.
Here's something. Dance is a sport. Congrats, Cam. Yay.
I just drained the life out of him, I think. In conclusion, I
It's
think
also-
we can all agree that everything this week with the Noah Helm trailer as a whole has made us all want to cry and scream and throw up.
I'm actually about to go throw up, so.